the City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Welcome, Los Angeles, episode 417 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. I'm going to call this one Rivalry Renewed as we once again face the Vancouver Whitecaps in an important playoff game. Yeah, history is what it is, everybody. It's on again. Of course, it's been a little of a break for us. We've got a lot to cover today in terms of news, a lot of changes in the league, right? But we've got the right crew to make this happen. Araceli is here. Bam is here, and Tony is here as well. So you've got the four. It's on. It's happening. Before we get into the news, let's check in with our crew. Bam, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, all right. I will apologize now. I have something else going on my side screen over here. Today is the first day of the Ashes Test match between Australia and England in the cricket. So that's been keeping my concentration for most of the day, which is good. Currently, Australia's chasing first innings total of 172 by England, and we're 1 wicket down for 0 after 4 overs. So going to be a great summer break here with the Ashes going on, and hopefully Australia can pull out a win in that.
There we go. Nice. I'll get used to cricket when it comes to the Olympics, close to home too. So that should be fun. Tony, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm just waking up a little bit. Been a long weekend, a long week, but doing all right. Excited for some new news, some schedule changes and everything. And kind of also surprised that we got an early schedule update of what next year's going to look like.
Yeah, and a lot has broken down, and usually it's stuff that you get after the season ends. So we got stuff to talk about outside of just the football itself, which I don't know about you guys, kind of overdue. We got some stuff, that's for sure. And Araceli, who's finally able to breathe, is back. How are you doing?
I feel like that's a little bit of an understatement there, considering the breaking news of this week. But no, I mean, I'm doing really well. Next Pro ended their season 2 weeks ago. So congratulations to the Red Bulls, too, for winning the cup. As you guys could tell, for that week, I was kind of bouncing all over. I was in Denver one weekend. I was in New Jersey the next. But you know me, I love to travel, so it's always great. But of course, looking ahead and talking MLS again, especially with all this schedule news, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's been something, right? So let's just jump right into it. As Araceli says, there's news. So I think the first thing I just want to jump into, not the match in Coliseum, the actual format changed to the entire league. The league is going to look different. It's going to feel different. You're going to watch it in a different way, right? As we found that Apple TV, if you have it, you have it. And if you're a season ticket holder, you actually get an Apple subscription. That's not so bad. So it's a little bit more accessible. You don't have to have this special buy-in. It's a part of Apple, which is perfect. So that's good. Easier to see. But the format, we're going more traditional, while at the same time having kind of a mini season, shoulder season, basically. So in a very short time, we'll have 2 champions. All right. More football for us. I think Matt might be the better. Yes, it creates a lot more questions about how does this fit in, how to deal with cold weather places. As Araceli can tell you, right? SKC, it'll be a little rough playing in winter there, right?
Oh, definitely. Because, I mean, if anybody's been here for our winters, they're very brutal. I mean, obviously, I can only speak for the state of Kansas on this one, but especially in January and February is when we get hit with the heaviest snow.
Yeah, so the hardest weather we're gonna actually have to deal with. Maybe they'll move games around, avoid those cities that are known to get rough weather during that time. So it's a lot to figure out schedule-wise. Just wait till that schedule drops. But it's happening. I think the one thing that I didn't hear that I need to hear is how they're going to trade the international breaks. Match days, FIFA match days. Are you actually going to do the grown-up thing and take a break like the other adult leagues do? Or are you going to play with the old school childish, oh, we want to play through? That's my big question. Bam, what are your thoughts?
for me, I understand why they want to change it. You know, the fact that they will be having a winter break from mid-December through to early Feb, so they don't have to deal with the harsh snow in some places. But my biggest concern is when the league and football is still quite small in the US, you're now dealing with the likes of the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, and all that kind of stuff, where in the middle of summer, you're dealing with baseball where there's so many games that it doesn't really matter if you miss 2 games of baseball to go watch a soccer game. So it's going to be interesting to see how it is. I know my partner is a little bit happier towards it because she doesn't like the heat too much. So when I come over no longer in the middle of your summer, it'll be good for her.
There it is. There it is. I can't blame her either. It gets nasty here in the summertime. Kansas City in the summer ain't any easier than Kansas City in the winter. Hot, humid. It's different. It's different. Most places in the United States, I mean, we get harsh weather either side of the angle there. There's places where it's hard to play. So that is a thing for sure. I'm good with it. It's just gonna feel weird not having MLS in the summertime. That's gonna be odd. Yeah.
The other thing that I think people have to worry about as well is, are they going to be extending a lot of contracts by 6 months? Because you people that their contract was finishing December 30th, 2028. That's going to be midway through the season. So they have to extend it there or shorten their contracts. What are they going to do?
Yeah, especially say that shoulder season, right? That little mini setup they're doing where there's that early spring weirdness. It's going to make contracts very interesting, and maybe there's going to be a lot of turnover when the switchover happens. Honestly, I think for most players, though, if you're an international, this is welcomed. It really is. It makes more sense now. You're in the same shape as everyone else that you're playing against at the international level, right? Think about CONCACAF Champions League, right? We were dealing with Liga MX teams that are in mid-season form, and we've got a month under our belts. It was never a fair thing with that. So on that end, yes, contracts are going to be tough, right? Figuring that's going to be really complicated. But form-wise, I think it makes us more competitive. What do you think, Tony? Your thoughts?
It's gonna make it more competitive, in general, just so we're finally on a football schedule for everyone else, and that's the whole thing. Yes, I know East Coast teams with weather and Midwest teams with weather is a whole situation, and again, they'll have to deal with it. We'll have to deal with it. You know what I mean? We'll just say it. The best way to say it is sometimes German teams, Russian teams have to deal with cold winters. You know what I mean? That's the name of the game. You can't control Mother Nature. The other thing is, and I've seen a lot of people complaining and saying all this stuff is, one of them I'll do an example is Seattle. Oh, the culture that we built in the football stadium, you're gonna take away what we built there and stuff like that. I'm like, it was never yours. It was just no. I've seen people on social media talk about this, and I think it goes back to also other people. I'm like, so you're telling me because literally your owner is cheap. Let's be real. You know what I mean? How do I get the most and everything and all this stuff? And move forward, it's all right, we're now on a football schedule and we have to deal with the NFL when they're in season. So all right, so the stadium's going to be taking over. Are you guys going to go away and everything? Also on top of that is just another thing was just, and here's the main concern, we can show up and see that we can sell it out when it's the final, or you know what I mean, or the CONCACAF final as well. And I'm just those are finals. Of course, everybody wants to be there. Who doesn't want to be there? But it's just days in, days out. This also puts into owners' minds, we need a soccer-specific stadium. And, if that means for some people, unfortunately, I think Seattle was saying that they're moving out of Seattle, a little bit out to get into it. And it will be it won't be Seattle anymore and stuff like that. I'm again, this is where you want to be part of the city, you want to be that, find the area that is in city still, not just outskirts, and then call yourself the team name.
I mean, the NHL team found a home, right? They figured it out. Starfire, I mean, yeah, that's kind of way out. That ain't gonna work. But yeah, again, I think like you said, it forces some teams to actually invest in the future, not just exist. Now you look at a team like New England, they already are, right? They're gonna be in their own house. So they don't have to worry about it anymore. A team like Chicago, basically, yes, they play at Soldier Field, but there's many games that we've seen this season. We actually had to play one, right? In their alternate stadium, their old stadium in Bridgeview. So they already have that kind of adjustment. But yeah, if you've got the supporter, the soccer specific stadium, who cares? I think for a lot of us, especially say LAFC and other teams that have made the investment, maybe it's one of those moments you just tell those other teams to kick rocks, get with the program or sell. Straight up, if your ownership doesn't want to make the moves, now it's time. Grow up. The league's growing up, obviously. Look at the change they made. They're not scared of the European calendar anymore, right? That's what they're saying, is that they feel viable enough as a product that they'll play during the same time. So it's not, well, we'll get a player while they're off for their other team. No, that's now you're competing. So adapt or die. That's how it always has been. So here we go again.
Well, not only that though, like with Chicago, although yes, they've been playing at Soldier Field and all that kind of stuff, they are expected to break ground on a new stadium next year to have it completed by 2028. So even they've already got that forefront of what's going to happen when it changes. So all these other ones that are playing in NFL stadiums, start looking. You know, land's not going to get cheaper. You got to start going up and up. And even then, you can sit there and go, if you are going to move, there are places that will happily take a team.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, there's other teams where Atlanta, it's indoor, they have artificial surface, they'll make it happen. It won't be a big deal because they're already designed, their stadiums are designed for that. So we'll see what happens. It's good though, and it'll force the hand on some. And that's good. It's ultimately needed at the end of the day. So good on them. They made a smart move. I know the other news was also that the commissioner may be on his way out here. That's the other story, and that Larry Berg was one of the names listed. Good on him if that happens. That's a lot of fun. There were several names. Yeah, we love that. He's awesome. Larry's awesome. So, again, that's a process. We'll see where that goes too. And then let's talk about our schedule. The LAFC schedule. It's a big one. Big changes this time around. The first time we're going to play at the Coliseum, I think, is the story, right? We saw it. I know. You had to expect the cash grab before Messi leaves. You had to expect it. I kind of did. When I saw the torch, I was like, it's either the Galaxy or it's Miami. Hope it's Miami. And it worked out that way. So, again, if it's going to be that, fine. We'll make it happen. I'm happy it's the first game, and then we're done. We're done. And we can get back to what we do best in our own house. So, fine. I don't love it, but I understand the business. And if that can get us better players as we go down the line here to complement this team even further, well, so be it. We'll sacrifice one of those games. It's in our parking lot anyways. The tailgates can still happen, guys. It's still, functional. I go to you, Bam. Your thoughts, one on the Coliseum and then the rest of the schedule, because it's fascinating.
Coliseum, yeah, I understand the cash grab, right? At least it's still in our area. We're not going out to an area that's
Pasadena.
not Pasadena. We're not going to SoFi, all that kind of stuff. As I was saying to you off air, is what will happen if both big name players are red carded in the final game this year and they miss out on that game? Will they do a last minute switch back or what? We're not sure what will happen there. It'll be interesting to see what happens if both Messi and Son get red carded or are out injured for that game. It will be interesting to see what happens. As for the fixture overall, I don't like it for personal reasons. I don't like it at all. We obviously September, as some of you guys know, I'll be back over for that too. We have one home game the day I land in LA, so it'll be a dash from the airport to the accommodation, drop my bags off, then straight down to the game. And then we play SKC away and San Jose away. Like, come on. One of those lads couldn't be at home as well. I just can't win.
Yes, we gotta force you to go to the Smurfs environment. Let's all go to Santa Clara, everybody. Tony's in. He's on the road trip. I'm in the road trip, I hope. We're kidnapping Bam and we're heading to Santa Clara. I guess that's the story. Sorry, Tony. There you go. Araceli, find a way. Find a way. We'll see you there. We'll just have to make it happen that way, I guess. I don't know. Thoughts, right? Thinking out loud on that one. Yeah, I know. The only thing that bugs me, honestly, about this year's schedule, outside of the Coliseum, the last month of the season is absolutely brutal for LAFC. They gave us all playoff teams. The last 6 games are playoff teams. No bones about it. Again, rosters change, right? But it's just, here you go, man. Front load the tough ones, front load the TV ones. Even the Galaxy's on there, and Seattle's our last game of the year. So congrats. You open against Miami and you end the regular season against Seattle in Seattle. Speaking of the Devils. So yeah, that's funky. That's interesting. Araceli, I know you've been hearing it like crazy this week. Your thoughts on the schedule for this year? Again, the big one and ours this year, because you hear it from other ways. Any thoughts on the movement so far?
I mean, my own personal thoughts, especially for the overall schedule format change, is just kind of the overarching concern of the cold weather states and how that's going to be handled, especially during the cold months. Of course, I hope I'm proven wrong. And just like how Bam pointed out, Chicago is building a new stadium, which I took a quick second to Google, and looking at their design, it doesn't have a roof. So that's also going to spark more conversation as to stadium upgrades, if they're going to start investing in a better heating system for the field, for the fans. Are we going to see those type of upgrades? Because I know for Sporting, they spent millions in a new lighting design, which looked pretty, let's be honest, even though the team sucked. But to see if they could use those resources for other things, I'm curious if other stadiums are also going to follow suit. Because if you look at all of the MLS stadiums, and not including, Atlanta or Seattle, that are notoriously in NFL stadiums, they're all open air. And like for Chicago, the Arctic Blast is a real thing. So who knows? I know in Minnesota's statement, they already pointed out that for early December, because I believe there is a break from
Yes.
mid-December till like early February or something. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, no,
to try to combat that. But even Minnesota already acknowledged that most of their games will be away. So again, I think there's just a lot of questions going into it, but of course, I hope it all works out. Now, for the schedule next season, yes, I'm not a big fan of it, especially that September, seeing how packed it is. And I think it's fair to say we have the World Cup to blame for that. Because if you notice, we have like a 2-month break, which is not good if you want to promote a league, but it feels like they're jam-packing everything, especially with decision day being on November 7th of next year. So when is the MLS final? New Year's Eve? Like, I'm very curious what that's going to look like.
I think maybe I'm wrong. Do you think it screams that there's going to be a big change to the playoff format?
I feel like there's probably discussion around it, because I know that even with the Next Pro being the experimental league to a certain point, they do take a lot from Next Pro. So I wouldn't be surprised if they adopt the playoff format that Next Pro has, but I honestly couldn't answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-game series thing, I think that was because they had the time to do it. I can't see that happening again. I just can't. that would be out of line. Again, how deep do you want to go into December? So we'll see how that plays. I predict a change for sure. Tony, your final thoughts on schedules?
Game Coliseum. It's gonna suck. I hate stadium atmospheres because it is still home, but it's not home. The cold weather, I've experienced that being in Colorado for the final game of the season, so I understand that. But you can still dress warm, and again, St. Louis has, Kansas City has football games in winter, so those fans should know how to kind of, stay warm, because I know that stadium is not high tech at all.
No.
Let's be honest. It's brick or mortar. It's not like SoFi where they pump in, or it's not like any of the other stadiums that are super high tech that can pump in and everything like that. That's an old stadium. Same with like Denver is the same thing. It's an old stadium. It's got history and stuff like that. Same with Green Bay. They don't got warm. They just know how to wear and what to wear. So just sorry.
Look at Buffalo. They build a new stadium and they still keep it wide open.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do it. And did you see the Canadian Championship?
Mm-hmm.
That madness in the snow?
Yep.
Were you not entertained? Were you not entertained? I was entertained. So yeah, it can happen. And they didn't even complain. They just did it. All right, so we got that. Schedule down. International break. You saw the madness. God, that Scotland game was so freaking awesome. Internationals, I mean, this World Cup qualifying campaign has been a wild one. I know, Tony. I know. But the under-17s have been entertaining for Mexico. We'll admit that. Yeah, the World Cup qualifiers, again, has been really entertaining. The only sad part is the guys that we wanted to see make it and go farther, it hasn't quite worked out. Of course, Bam, I'm going to go to you on this one. Recap for our boys from LAFC and how things went for them in this latest break.
The only main one that I really watched and I was really hanging on to was obviously Bouanga with Gabon. Watching that one live as I was driving to work, I had it playing on my phone so I could listen to it. Obviously having the phone facing down so I wasn't distracted while driving, but listening to it. The first half being 0-0, like this is good. 70th minute, Adams for Nigeria scores a goal. And when I was sitting there going, all right, 12 minutes to go, what can happen? Then in the 89th minute, Lamine scores for Gabon. Going to extra time, here we go. And after extra time, it just went all Nigeria's way. 98th, then 102, then 110th minute, and finished 4-1 for Nigeria. So Nigeria got the chance. So Gabon were out. Nigeria then had to go on and play the Democratic Republic of Congo. That game finished 1-1, and then Congo ends up winning 4-3 on penalties. So there's no Nigeria at the World Cup either. So
yeah, and that was a brutal penalty shootout, by the way. If you watch that, it was Nigeria had a chance, man. Like they really did. But another one missed for Nigeria. I mean, talk about a country with so much talent not getting it done.
And if you
no
go
one says
by
to my friends who support Nigeria, I know it's not. Yeah, it's not great. That's right.
And if you go by the Nigerian coach, is all the voodoo that Democratic Republic of Congo were doing on the sidelines.
I mean, us supporters have done a little bit of voodoo in the past, so I guess it's okay. Whatever helps you, man. Whatever helps you. Again, for DR Congo, again, congrats to them. They still have to do some work here. It now leads us into these playoff tournaments that are going to be fascinating because the draws were all today as well. Italy seems to get a little bit of a cakewalk, not going to lie, and poor Ukraine and Poland may have to face each other to see who goes to the show when it's all said and done. So, yeah, the European ones are interesting. The play-in tournament that I guess can play in Mexico, Iraq, maybe. There's a chance. Jamaica, maybe.
Looking at it, for the play-in tournaments, it's hard to not go past Iraq making it through because
Yeah.
they are an actual powerhouse of a team in Asia, and they end up playing the winner of who do they play?
It's the Jamaica match,
me.
right?
Yeah, which
Yeah.
Jamaica should win that match, and I reckon that's going to be
Mhm.
an interesting one, Jamaica Iraq, for sure.
Yeah, because they honestly, Jamaica was shocked not to make it direct. Again, tiny Curacao survived at the office. Honestly, if that's the game I decided to watch, because what history that is, and just the dead silence in that match after it ended was wild. It was just shock. It was a shocker. But again, Curacao looked the part through the entire qualification process. They've done what they needed to do, and they did it again and were effective. So good on them. And again, Haiti
Sorry.
going through.
Jamaica doesn't go to Iraq. Jamaica goes off against DR Congo.
Oh, dude, that's a tough one. I kind of feel like DR Congo is going to make it. Honestly, that's tough. Okay, that's
that being
bad
said, though,
news for Jamaica.
Jamaica's going to get past the world heavyweights of New Caledonia.
You never know. We've seen it. Hey, look at who qualified for CONCACAF. You never know. It's going to get interesting. I dig it. Now that the tournament's expanded, these are getting actually really entertaining. So now I'm kind of for it. I'm not going to lie. Our country is getting close. It's cool. Tony, I know you were shaking your head because not only were there the qualifiers, but there was also tune-up matches for the teams that are already in the show, the hosts. The U.S., it was a good week, right? It looked proper. Mexico, not so much. Sorry, Tony.
It is what it is. We still are. They don't have an vision or a play style that they like. Let's be honest. Mora is going to be the star of the show, and you're going to see that you saw that in the U20. Moving forward, you're going to see him in Europe, and hopefully he doesn't fall. Hopefully he follows the right path of going into Europe. You know what I mean? There's you see how Mexican kids go. You either go Giovanni or Chucky's kind of route of kind of trying to make an impact, don't make an impact, and or get lost in a lifestyle that shouldn't be, or you go like Guardado, who like stays true to the team, does well, and is a captain through and through, and makes an impact on a European team. With Italy, it just shows, and I'm going to say this, it just shows how tough it is to get into the World Cup through Europe, because Italy lost one game, and we're in this playoff, and again, we needed to win more and everything, but we just lost one game, and that's all that mattered because we don't get through. Again, Norway is not a great team. They have good pieces to move forward to it, but realistically, like Italy should, as the powerhouse they are, should have moved on. But we have a playoff, and hopefully they can make it through. And like I say that because it's like you could lose 6 games in South America and still make it into the World Cup. That's how easy-ish it is. It's still a hard division, but there's more precedents to win, and there's no playoffs to move on forward. But I don't know. Italy is the same process right now too. It's just there's no identity. There are players that shouldn't be playing. I'll say it once is like, unfortunately, I think Mancini should not play at international level. I know, great for Roma and what we're doing there, but international is a different level of play, and I don't think he's up to it. And we don't have anything to go for that.
Yeah, and I do think the mindset's off too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the manager's helping at all in what he's doing. Again, you're creating excuses. It's kind of the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
Not the right place to be. Should be more of a stubborn mindset. Instead, it's the consolation. And you have to go play a playoff in March. Like, yeah, it's a weird vibe. Who knows? Maybe there's going to be a different manager for Italy and for Mexico by the time we get to that time of year. You never know. You never know. So I know Jamaica's changed their manager already, so that's happening. So yeah, things will happen. I expect both teams to improve by the time it gets to it. We'll see it. I expect to see, both of them do what they need to do when they finally get to the show. And I do think at least going to get to the show. All right. Back to the MLS. Why we're here, right? We are who we are. MLS is fascinating. We get this break. Now everybody's ready to go again. You'd think, oh, everybody's a little more healthy. Not quite the case, but we're here. Conference semifinals. On the East, you have Philadelphia playing NYC. Yeah, NYCFC. Cincinnati is taking on Miami. Cincinnati is the host for that match. Again, in the higher seed, and one and done matches here. Then you have San Diego playing Minnesota. Of course, they thought they'd be dialed in to play Minnesota. And now it's looking like their two best players might not be available this weekend. So that's fascinating to watch. And then comes us, Vancouver versus LAFC, the showdown that is. So yes, it is on. Just look at it this way. If somehow, some way San Diego loses and we actually get a result this week, we all might be seeing each other in the North End next week. Just saying. So that is still something happening. So it's on, it's happening. How to predict it? It's a tough one. Bam, your thoughts on who the survivors so far?
Some interesting ones. Obviously you've got Chicago did put up a fight as much as they can against Philadelphia. You knew they were going through. NYC over winning their match was fun to watch. Thought Nashville was a bit hard done by against Miami. And Cincinnati Columbus Crew was a great third match. If you ever get a chance to go back and watch that was a great match. Obviously, Vancouver getting over Dallas, we all knew that was going to happen. Portland just didn't show up in the third match, so disappointing in them. They should be better than they are. If you're going to play like that, don't even bother making the playoffs. Just finish with them on the spoon. And then Minnesota, again, their Starry Night kit is a beautiful, beautiful kit, and seeing them wearing around with that is just amazing. And hopefully Minnesota can get it done this weekend for us. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, somehow, some way, Minnesota gets the job done. NYCFC gets the job done, which gives us a chance to still host an MLS Cup final if we can get through Vancouver. Yeah, that's the only way we'll ever get to host MLS Cup this year is if somehow, some way, NYCFC runs the table in the East. So look out for that, everybody. That's for sure. All right, so we've got that. That's what's going on. I do see some comments from the faithful, so I'm not ignoring you guys. It's just a lot to cover today. Let me see who's on tonight. Boom, boom, boom. We've got Mendo in the mix. Good evening, sir. And he was asking about that Leagues Cup, if it'll be played during the winter break. Everybody go to Mexico? I don't know. That would be interesting if that does happen. Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, we think about it. If you're going to do that, you have Texas, Southern California, Florida,
Azteca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe finally go over there a little bit. Thoughts. Yeah. There's something.
Or other thoughts. Get rid of that competition altogether.
That's what I've been voting for from the very start. Clearly, Mazatlan, I guess, has played their last game in it, but yeah. I just, again, I haven't been a fan of it. You guys know, I go to pretty much all the games that I can. I skipped this one. I'll say it right now. I watch the games on TV because I just don't care about this tournament. I think that's the only way to vote on this is with your feet. So, yeah, I'm not into it, so I don't bother with it. That's how I am with it. That's how much I don't like it. Now, Mendoza says, oh, damn, didn't know the Coliseum match opener. We all wonder why traffic go always with the Rose Bowl. Will it surpass the attendance record? I hope so. Miss Mary Lynn is like, can we just relax during the holidays? I'm with you on that. I leave the country during that season. So I would, I'm good with winter breaks. And then Mendo says, yes, reinstate playoff format. Yeah, make it easy. 2 gamers. That's it. And Mendo said Nigeria had one more opportunity last minute with Osman wide shot, but he unleashed in extra time. Wanted Bouanga back inspired. Yeah, I mean, now the focus fully is on what we're doing. I know. I was really hoping to see him. I would have traveled to see him. That's for sure. So, yeah, we're all bummed. But amazingly enough, Tillman's now in the mix for the U.S. So that's fascinating. Good on him. Good on him. Let's see, Miss Maryland, big away game to NYC. Yeah, again, they pull that off. It's going to be amazing. I hope they do. I hope they do. And I think they're capable. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Aracelli's jumping in. What do you think, Aracelli? NYCFC and Philadelphia? You're thinking no upset there?
In a weird way, I'm hoping it will be Philadelphia. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, and granted, this was during the government shutdown. When I was coming home from New York from LaGuardia, I spent an hour in TSA and 2 hours on the tarmac. So I did not want to see LaGuardia for a while.
I think she's talking about the away game on October,
Unless you're talking
17?
about a different one.
Oh, a road trip.
Okay, I thought we were talking
Yep.
about the playoffs. Sorry.
No, because it's October 17th, if I remember right. It's the day after the home game, which I never get it, but I'll get it one day. I have to wait another 4 years. A birthday home game, but because we play NYC around that time in October. So
gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Okay, then in that case, I'd be more willing. But for right now, for the playoffs in 2 weeks, no.
We'll see. We'll see
Got
how
it.
that. We'll see how that goes.
And she just confirmed that. Yes, the away game. The away game. Thank you, Mary Luna. Truly, the last time LAFC fans went up that way, supporters went, they kind of took over the place. So that was impressive the last time we actually went on the road against them. So
we'll see, because that's baseball season.
Well, aren't they building a house too?
They're not done. They haven't. I don't think they'll.
No, it's gonna be a while. I know.
It's gonna be a while, so it's gonna be during playoff season.
It's not gonna open till 2027 because it's lining up with the new league format.
2 ballparks to choose from. They can't both be home at the same time. You can already find that schedule, but yeah. You never know. There you go. Also says, Mendes says, our starting lineup at Vancouver was different earlier this year. Under, Long, Igor, Giroud, Marlon, no longer. Yeah, it's a different game. It is a different vibe. And we'll definitely cover that in a few minutes here because it's Clash of the Titans for sure. And then Mendoza Tillman maybe looking to get transferred to Germany when Dola manages a club in the future. Yeah, Dola's got to start fresh, though. That's what I've been hearing. And there's nothing locked in for him. He's just hoping and prayer making a move. So, I don't know. Tillman seems really happy in the States. Like, he's loving the vibe. So, and it's got him back in the mix. I think if he goes back over there again, it's risking him getting a look-see at this stage. So, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens there. Wouldn't be surprised either. That's for sure. All right, there we go. So we got the latest news. We got that. Tony, raising your hand. What are you going to say over there, man? What you got?
The rumor of Bogusz coming back to MLS and some people wanting him to come back to LAFC.
Who's coming back?
Bogusz.
Ooh, the rumor is Chicago. And if you know the Polish expat population, the huge population there, it's been a while since they've had like a Polish player that's been super exciting. I mean, I remember the good Chicago teams where you'd always have like good Polish players or Eastern Bloc players, like how old I am, right? Yeah, they were really good teams in the past. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in Chicago. It kind of fits, to be honest, even though I'd love to see him back here. That's for sure.
It'd be
All
DP
right.
money.
So we got
It'd be DP money. It'd be DP money if we got him back.
Yeah, yeah, and he can get it over there. We're not going to pay it. We're not going to pay that. No way. They would. They definitely would in Chicago. All right, I'm going to go over to Aracelli here for a few minutes and talk about some LAFC2 updates because of some players. What's going on with LAFC2?
Well, first off, with LAFC2, we haven't seen any end-of-season roster news yet, which is a little surprising, honestly. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe we'll see it in the next week or so. But aside from that, we did get a new player signing. Yesterday, the club signed Skylar Kaplan. He made his pro debut with the boys back in August. He signed from the LAFC Academy through 2028 with an option for 2029. Now, I really couldn't find much on his statistics, so I can't really speak to his level of play, but he is a defender. What I was able to find is that he is a back-to-back MLS Next U19 champion, so maybe that had a role in the decision. On the international level, last week, Jude Terry and Marius Arenero showed up big for their respective countries for the U17 World Cup. Jude Terry scored the opener against Morocco last Friday, and Arenero saw playing time for Canada. And also last week, Christian Diaz got the call for the U20 training camp in Costa Rica.
There we go. No, I feel bad for the U.S. under-17 team because they were looking the part this time around. They kind of hit a train there. Morocco's, yeah, they're good, man. They're a future power, current power. Honestly, they're gonna be good in the World Cup this year or next year. But yeah, rough case for them. I thought they would have been able to go farther, but kind of bad luck in the way it all drew out. International news, I see you got that. All right, let's move on to community news, Tony. I know we want to get to the player preview as soon as possible, but what do we got? There's a lot going on in community, man. What's going on, dude?
As like I said, like last episode, didn't have much for news, but when holiday season hits, we're gonna get a lot more stuff for the community. And as I said, Empire Boys are doing a holiday charity from November 14th to December 10th. They're collecting new or old toys, neutral age, from 3 to 12 years old, canned foods, and those are the main ones they want. Additional, if you can, men's clothing, any size, women's clothing, any size, kids' clothing, any size, and home decor. They're going to have 2 drop-off locations. One is Rowdy's at 102 6th Street, Suite A, or 6 Suite A, Rancho Cucamonga. Times to drop it off on that or at that location will be Wednesday through Sunday, 4 p.m. till 9 p.m. The other one is SoFi Center, 11747 Stadium Way, Rancho Cucamonga, of course. And for those drop-off times, it's Monday through Sunday, 4 p.m. till 9 p.m.
There it is. Great locations, honestly. Easy to find. So thank you for that, Tony. And then there's a toy drive for the Expos too?
Yes, Expos are having their annual toy drive. It's their tradition to have one up. Though they want new and unwrapped toys. Cutoff for those will be December 13th. And then they also, if you cannot donate that way, they are also taking donations through Venmo. Their cutoff for those donations is December 6th. It is on Venmo at Expos Original SG. Leave a note under tow drive in the donation notes. And their drop-off location is the Yesa Restaurant, 1816 East 1st Street, Los Angeles, California. Close on Wednesdays. And then the other one is El Distrito 1837 East Street, 1st Street, Los Angeles. They'll be closed on Monday and Tuesday. So those are the days that you can donate, not to donate. So they'll be open the other days, but those 2 days and Wednesday will be closed for those ones. As well as 3252 will be having a toy drive at Pepsi Plaza from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. on November, like I said, the Saturday, November 22nd. And that will perfectly lead way to, there'll be if you got the ticket through your ticket annual ticket, there's a watch party at the fields for the game at that time. And then Cuervos are going to have a watch party at Best Balls at 6:30, and Pride Republic will be at High Tops Los Feliz at 6:30 pickoff time as well.
There we go, man. Yeah. Busy. There's more, isn't there?
What did I forget?
You got everything? All watch parties covered?
30, but
you got the big one. You got
Yeah, it was the first one. That was the first one. I was like, "What other
Yeah,
first one
yeah.
did I forget?" I was like,
Yeah. There's other smaller ones I know, and then there's road trips for the guys traveling. So stay posted on that as well. They're out there. If we see more, we'll post them up on social media. So keep your eyes peeled. But if you can get to Pepsi Plaza, do it. It's gonna be worth it. That's for sure. All right. That leads us, of course, to the Black and Gold Vinyl Club Minute. I have my choices. Do you guys have choices as well? Bam, did you choose one, or you want me to just fire off with the ones I found?
I've got one just because I haven't heard it for a long time, and it came up on my random Spotify, and I've been banging it out the last couple of days. Going back to 2004, I'm going with Faithless and the song Mass Destruction.
Ooh. Taking that to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Nice. By the way, the stadium is sold out for the Vancouver match. So you know. All right. I took another weird route. I think it's because I was watching Germany play all their matches and the qualifiers and looking the part. Major Tom is what I went with, and also Space Oddity. Now, if you know Thomas Muller, who we're playing against, he's known as the Space Commander or Raumdeuter, right? Basically, yeah. He's also done advertising with astronaut suits and all that fun stuff. So I said, well, what are good songs for this? How about a astronaut that gets lost into space? So I'm like, let's go with it. So Major Tom, Coming Home from Peter Schilling, 1983 Error in the System album. English or German still sounds amazing today. And then, of course, Space Oddity from David Bowie, 1969. The inspiration for the other song. Yeah, that's what I'm going with because, yeah, Lost in Space. We'll take this dude out. It's fine. We got to make this happen. It also happens to be kind of the goal celebration for Germany, but we'll let that go. Yeah, so that's what I'm going with. I think it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek way to look at this conversation and this matchup. So there's my choice. Any other ones? Any other nominees?
on Bam's one, the one that popped up in my head, and going back to 2001, with the whole biopic coming about the King of Pop, "You Rock My World" by Michael Jackson. Say what you say of your opinion about him as a person, whatever. I know opinions go, but to separate the artistry from the person, it's one of those things. Is Michael Jackson put an impact on pop world and pop culture, and there'll never ever be someone like him who commanded his presence in this time of age. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I mean, wait, you can't argue with the artistry, that's for sure, and the hits. The fact that he wrote most of his stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is what it is. So there you go. We've got a few. Have fun with those songs again. We can't wait for that album to come out from Tony as he builds his playlist for all of us. I think we're now in the hundreds and hundreds of songs. So yeah, have fun with that. And he has jam to Major Tom. There's a Tiesto remix for that too. So
I've heard that one.
pretty good too. All right, then we got the Western Conference Semifinal preview. That's it. We're finally talking about football. I know you've waited long enough. 48 minutes in, we're here. It's happening. Let's talk about it. So, Western Conference Semifinal this weekend, 22nd, 6:30 p.m. in Vancouver. Yes, the team that has an undefeated record against us this season, mind you. Certain players weren't a part of either match, is a team that we have to face. Vancouver is probably the hottest team in the league outside of, LAFC. So, yes, a clash of the Titans is what this is. It is a rivalry because we've played them many times before, but neither team has been in the position it is now. It is fascinating. It is great to see finally something like this where it's a real hit. And there's a high probability that whoever takes this series, it's one game I know, I'd feel pretty good and confident saying either one would be the one to take the whole thing. It's that strong. That's how strong these teams look. It's for real. Now, how did Vancouver get here? They had to play FC Dallas. That's how they got here. They took them 3-0 at home. Yep, taught them a lesson, and then went on the road. They drew 1-1, and then Vancouver had to take it in penalties to end it for that series. So yeah, they had a little bit of a scare and almost had to take it to game 3, but they got through, as they seem to always do, as they've done throughout this year, where they just can't be killed off. That is the vibe for these guys. They can't be killed off. Even in that match where they tied, it was a 93rd minute goal because they never freaking give up. So yes, that's what we're dealing with the Vancouver Whitecaps. I'll go to you, Bam. Thoughts on the lead up to this match? Concerns? Where's your head at here, man?
For me, the concerns are just Vancouver as a whole general. You know, they're a very, very good team, even without some players being out injured and all that. But having Ryan Gould back, Rios up front, Mueller, Berhalter, who's having an amazing season, not just for them, but also for US men's side as well. Just knowing that there's a lot that can happen is going to keep us on our toes. With Brian White possibly still being out too, it does alleviate some pressure on us. But at the same time, though, you just don't know what Vancouver is going to end up doing. And we just got to hope that we're on the ball from the get-go. Because if we're not, you know, in the past, they have scored very early on. Like their 3-0 win was 43rd minute. That was their first goal. But they know how to knuckle down and control the game, which we need to make sure that we can control the game instead.
Yeah, I mean, I again looking at their performances this last match against Dallas, I'll go back to the match against Orlando that we were all really invested in, where you just couldn't kill these guys off. They never die. They always have control. That's how they're built. They do line up with a 4-2-3-1. Takaoka, of course, in goal. Last game, they had Halbuni and Prisu Mbonge as their center backs. Yes, there's been a lot of injuries in the center back role. Ocampo and Johnson were the outside backs, with Kubas and Berhalter holding it in midfield. Mueller is their playmaker. Sabi and Ahmed as their attacking wide mids. And, of course, Rios as target man. Yes, it's that classic 4-2-3-1 that we tend to run into a lot as LAFC. It's here again. Clogged midfield, going to be a lot of work. Tony, you've seen what these guys can do. You've seen how they've played. I mean, it's been pretty impressive. Thoughts going into this match?
It's again besides the players, and you know, Mueller is their we'll call it their joker because of who he is. We'll use that term for him. It's also yes, I know people say, yeah, we don't have a curse in Vancouver, but can we do it consistently and perform there? That's the other thing. It's just showing up in Vancouver in that stadium, because we've had many heartaches and a lot of moments in that stadium where it hasn't come to our side and showing up. And then the other concern when we get to our team is how Sun is, because if you heard his interview in South Korea, it wasn't looking too great on health-wise.
We're concerned about health going into this thing. That's not good. Would you like to elaborate more on that, sir?
He was saying he was just like having a little bit of a neck pain, of little, just headaches and stuff like that. And of course, the other part is he's coming pretty far. Let's say a good couple flight hour trips to some flight hourage from Korea back to Vancouver, which is still close. Might as well go home to LA and come over here.
Yeah, I've been on that one. That's not easy. That's tough. Yeah, it does wear on you. That's for sure. I'm not an athlete, but far from it. But still, it's hard on the mind. That's for sure. Araceli, you've watched the Vancouver transformation and what they've become since the last few seasons. How impressed are you at what they're doing, and how concerned are you for LAFC going into this match?
Oh no, I have to give credit where credit is due. Vancouver has definitely transformed themselves into I don't know if it's early to say a powerhouse just yet, but they are a formidable opponent. And in a weird way, I'm glad to see LAFC go ahead and go against them now rather than later. But my only real concerns is that it's going to be an away game. It's going to be in their house. It's a sold out stadium. So Vancouver's going to have that extra support. It's an artificial turf, which sometimes the boys can navigate and sometimes not so much. It kind of makes it harder for them to park the bus per se. But I mean, overall, Just as long as LAFC can stay focused, I would hope for a positive outcome, but who knows?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to play there. The ball runs extremely fast on that field. It doesn't die off. The bounces tend to be a little bit more pronounced. It's tough. It is a true home field advantage for them. That's real. And now it's a full house. That's going to be different. That's for sure. Araceli, if you were going to look at any players, I know we're going to see Thomas Mueller, of course. Other than Thomas Mueller, who are you most concerned about in their lineup?
Besides Mueller, the other one that's coming to mind, I'm gonna butcher his name. I think it's Bodwall, but I always mispronounce his name. He comes from the MLS Next Pro side, and he's just been great and getting into those tight spaces. And I know he's been having a lot of playing time with the first team this season, so they could use him as that dangerous attack on the wings, but I don't know. I would need to look at the roster a bit more.
Got it. I think for me, the other name that always pops up, I know I was going to say like Rios, Bearhalter. If you saw the goal that he scored for the United States this past week, the guy is really coming into himself. He's really maturing as a player, and he's going to be dangerous for this game. That is for sure. Now, looking at more and more and how we match up with these guys, it's crazy. We scored 71 goals this year. They scored 70. Yeah, 29 goal difference for us, 31 for them. They had 49 assists. We had 42 assists. Goals against, they had 39. We had 42. Again, it's pretty hair-splitting stuff. That's for sure. I think the bigger story will be us, of course. How are we going to go to Vancouver, again, play the way we're supposed to play? Because, road games are up and down for this club. What are they going to feel to make it happen? Is it going to look like more of the same? Is there going to be a change? We know Dolo has a tendency to also do weird things in big games, right? And shift things up. Where are we going to be next on this? So, Tony, I look at you. We saw Jailson as a center back last game. Who do you think we're going to go? I'm figuring it's going to be three in the back. I don't think there's much debate on that, but who do you think is going to be those three back there?
I think you go Jalison in the back and keep that. I just don't have that much confidence in Tafari. He does show up, but he's our new defender does great for the whole game, except for that one moment where he costs us a big goal or a big, opportunity, and we just have to pray that hope he doesn't do that. So he's kind of on my but if I'd be okay with Tafari, but I would prefer Jalison.
Always the goofball deflections, right? It's just been weird. It's been weird for him. So again, last name was Segura Jailson Porteous. Bam, do you think there's going to be changes to that, or is that what we should expect?
I think that's what we should expect. I agree with Tony with Tafari. He's gone from being on this guy is going to be fun list to my list. If he keeps going how he's going to go, he'll end up being on my shit list, which you don't want to get there.
Like Segura's been for a long time, but now all of a sudden is seeming secure. I don't know. He's played into it. That's for sure. Ups and downs.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take it to the midfield situation. I'm not even that. Let's talk about the outside backs, because that's also debatable. I think Palencia is the constant. Nobody's going to debate that. Palencia is going to be on the right. There's no way around that. He's the guy. But then there's Hollingshead, who you've seen him step up. It's been good. But we also have Smolikov that can come in. Araceli, your thoughts? Is Hollingshead getting the start for this, or are we going with the Ukrainian player? What do you think?
I see Hollingshead starting just to kind of get start the pace of it.
Yeah, I think they could both share minutes. I'm with you on that. Your thought, Tony?
I'm gonna go
the start for this.
Hollingshead comes in as a substitute because he is a game changer for us in the playoffs. So that spark that we need, I would say that. That's what I would go with.
There we go. There we go. I'm kind of holding to the Hollingshead to start because experience wins games, especially in playoffs. Bam, you're the deciding factor here. What do you think?
What I think and what I know are two different things. Also, what I think and what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want Smolikov to start. For the pure fact that I think with the pace to begin with will be great. And then bringing Hollingshead to shut it down when when Vancouver are getting on the heavy feet. But I think for the steadiness and experience, Hollingshead will start.
There we go. Now brings it to the midfield. Number 8, expecting to be plugged into the lineup. Has to be. Who's next one? Is it going to be Tillman like we saw in the last match? Schwanier? Who do we go with? Who's next to Delgado? Araceli, your thoughts on who do you think is going to field next to Delgado?
Real quick, we're not expecting to be missing anyone, right?
Nope.
No.
No.
Looks like we're
Full roster.
pretty darn healthy here. Yep.
I don't know. I'll go ahead and let you guys do that first. Sorry, come back to me.
All right. I'll guess on Schwanier over Tillman, but that's me. I'm like that. Tony?
I'm gonna go with Tillman just because he has just been showing up, especially in if you saw his performance in international, he's got that drive, and hopefully that translate as we've seen most people who come back from international duty do well coming back.
Nice. Bam again with that deciding the wants and wishes.
Tillman, what I want is Schwanier and Tillman in the middle together, but number 8 is going to be starting, and it'll be him and Tillman.
There it is. Now he comes up top. Bwanga, Sonny, healthy, they play. It's the guy next to them. Who are we going to decide on? I will say, I think it's a bit of a tell that Ordaz left early from camp for El Salvador. Maybe that's something to read into. And Martinez at the same time got red carded in his game for Venezuela. So interesting vibes for sure. I'll start with you now, Bam. Who's going next to the boys for this one?
This is where, for me, it's going to be interesting because obviously Martinez had 12 minutes in the win against Australia and then got the red card against Canada. But Ordaz coming back early, which going by everything, it was because of him and the club wanting him to come back early. So I'm going to go with Ordaz starting.
Eventually see Martinez later. It's kind of the look.
Yeah, Martinez will come in later. If not a halftime, depending on what happens in the first half.
And there's also Ebobisse, right? I'd expect him to get minutes in this thing too. And
I expect Ebobisse maybe getting the last 5-10 minutes.
Right. And then there's also the Andy Moran conversation too. So there's that. Tony, are you an Ordaz man on this one?
I'm an Ordaz man on this one.
And there we go. Araceli?
Ordaz.
Unanimous for Ordaz. Yeah. No, I love the way he's been playing with the guys up top. He fits. It fits. There's a chemistry there. So that's my hope as well. Again, Schwanier, when he comes in, control is there. Ebobisse comes in, he's been timely in what he's been doing. So I'm happy. Morin, yeah, honestly, he's been good too. He's really, really played into himself there. Do we think we're going to get significant minutes from Andy Morin this time, Bam?
I don't think so. I would like to get some more minutes out of him, but I think with Schwanier in there, he'll be taking over more of the minutes over Moran, unless there's an injury early on. But I think
there we go.
He will pop up for a couple minutes here and there, but I don't think anything significant will be coming from him.
There it is. All right. Now, the big question for all of you. What are the essentials for LAFC to get a result on this day? Tony?
Start strong, to be honest. Just play the way we've been playing and just get into it. But that's not going to be the real issue. The real issue is finishing the game, because as we've seen Toronto, Vancouver can come back and pull those like last minute winners to win the game or set it into, tie it up and everything. We've seen it multiple times since Muller has shown his presence in Vancouver. So it's going to be more of playing our game, getting to a fast start, getting what we need to do, but then closing the game and closing it to maybe put a dagger into it, everything like that. I know everyone who's been following LAFC and seen what we do is going to go to Dolo Ball, which is park the bus, and hopefully we make it through.
Yeah, that's going to be scary with this team. Araceli?
Just hoping that they don't park the bus too early and they'll be sloppy with certain plays, especially playing on turf, just like how you pointed out a little bit ago, that the ball can bounce a weird way or glide in a unnatural position. So hopefully that they're able to stay focused and just keep the momentum going. They should be okay. But like I said, who knows what happened?
There it is. There it is. Bam?
For me, I don't want to see it park the bus at all. At no stage should we park the bus against Vancouver. Vancouver are too good against that. Was going to say the obvious thing we have to do is score more goals than Vancouver. But for me, it's I don't want anyone walking off the field at the end of the match. As soon as that final whistle blows, I want them to have left everything out there. Win, lose, or draw, give it their all is the main thing that I want. I don't care if they've got to bring oxygen out to get you off the pitch and whatever. You got to get dragged off the pitch at the end of it. Leave everything out there, and that's all that I want from you as a player.
Well said. Again, give your all. We need your all. The only thing we require is your best. We've said this before, and this is one of those games where it has to be that. I think for me, where it stands and what's going to decide this game, one, dead ball situations. They have two players that are deadly on the dead ball. One at service, one at finishing. If you give them fouls at the top of the box, which parking the bus does, right? If you give them any opening and you don't cover properly on a corner kick anywhere else, they have guys that will place it wherever they feel, and they will kill you on this. We've seen it in other teams. And then the parking the bus story. Every team that I've seen that have collapsed low and tried to low block these guys, they've murdered them at the top of the box. They can hit it from distance without question, from any angle. If you watch Thomas Muller play, he will adjust to what you are doing and find a way, and you will get into trouble. And they will ping it into the box, back out of the box, back into the box, until they find a bad bounce. And when there's bodies and legs everywhere, that happens. They'll get a penalty off a deflection, something like that. You can't. You have to run these guys. You have to create transition opportunities, or they will kill you. This one will have a lot of goals. I don't expect it to be low scoring at all. They will be trading goals in this match. I don't see any other way. I don't see a 1-0 in this one. I just can't see it that way. Tony, do you see it being a low scoring one, or do you think we're in a shootout here?
It's a shootout. It's going to be the Wild West. That's what I expect, and that's what I see.
Be prepared. Bam.
For me, I actually think it's going to be a very low scoring match. I can see it's going to be a 90th minute winner either way. And I just hope that at the end of the day, it falls in our favor.
It's going to be tough for sure. I mean, I hope it stays low because that, I think, plays into us. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Araceli?
I see it being more of a low-scoring match, given the strength of both rosters. I see it being a good fight up until the final moments.
Okay. Here we go. So is it going to be the shootout? Is it going to be, I guess that's score. If they score early, that changes the whole dynamic. But yeah, that's the game. That's where we're at. On that note, I do see a couple comments from the faithful, and then we'll close this bad boy out. I know we went long, but it's worth it, guys. It's a huge match for us. Let's see. Mendoza says we're gonna need Dolo to tap into his inner Dave Robert tactic on elimination games. Does he have that? I'm not sure. The management was pretty good the last time, right? The subs actually played out perfect. So, yeah. Says Delgado is 3 wins away from becoming back-to-back champion with different clubs. He has that ever been achieved in MLS? It's a good point. He does find it. Yes, Spam. Go for it.
So Brian Mueller did it back in 01-02 and 02-03 with the Galaxy, then San Jose Earthquakes. And Alejandro Moreno did it in 06-07 with Houston, and then 07-08 with Columbus Crew. So he's won back-to-backs there as well.
Ali Moreno from ESPN FC. Check that out. Nice.
So they're the first that I found, but I'm pretty sure some other ones have done it too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check up this one. He's won it 4 times. Was it? No, it wasn't back-to-back.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be wild, honestly. I mean, Delgado's built for it. I know he's happy where he is now. There's no doubt about that. The form's been proper for him, but yeah, could happen. It's real. Again, to me, these are the 2 monster teams. I know there's stars on the other side. I don't know, man. There's just a vibe for both sides. And then Meadow says, our defenders clearing any crosses got to make sure not to allow a second or third chance. How about not heading the ball down? Again, why the starting lineup will be what we think it is, because you don't want to head the ball down. Yeah, good thoughts there. Good stuff, Mendo. Thank you for everyone that's jumped in tonight with the comments. Love it. That's for sure. On that note, you know what we're going to do next? We're going to call it a night. We're going to shut this bad boy down, get ready for the game this weekend. Hopefully we'll be next week with another great episode to preview another match. That is the hope for next week. So it is on. It is happening. So we go on to our final thoughts. Tony, I'll start with you. Your final thoughts, sir?
Final thoughts is stay safe out there. It's still going to be a rainy one. We thought it was going to be over. So if you're here in Los Angeles, be careful out there, especially after the rain stops, because that's the most dangerous time to drive. Again, slick oil freeways, and people think it's dry and they can do stuff. So be careful out there. Also, let's cheer the boys from, if you're going, cheer the boys as much as you can in Vancouver if you can, but cheer from home and just, give them your energy, give them all that we got so we can come back on next time on this pod to hopefully another game where if it's home and away, it doesn't matter. We'll still, support the boys as much as we can. And that'll be my final say.
Won't be a long drive down the street anyways if we get to the next round, if that happens to be. So there you go. Well said, Tony. Araceli, final thoughts?
I'm glad that Tony brought up the rain in LA. So I definitely do have thoughts about that, but don't worry, I'll refrain. Either way, just wishing everyone a fun and safe weekend, whether you're going to a watch party or Friendsgiving, with Thanksgiving literally just a week away. And for anyone traveling to Vancouver, safe travels. I have seen a few that have landed in Vancouver earlier today. So again, safe trip. Definitely watch out for each other and stay safe out there.
Thank you, Araceli. Well said. Yes. All love to the travelers. There's a big contingent going. Bam, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Everyone's going, stay safe, look after each other. Going to watch parties, stay safe, look after each other. While you guys are having some rain over there, I've got some nice sunny 72-degree days coming up. It's got nice 78 degrees on Monday for me. Look after each other. Again, get out, watch some sport. Get out when you can. Going for a walk in the rain can be quite therapeutic and have some fun. Go jump in a puddle, be a kid, go have fun. And again, as I always say every episode, mental health matters. Conversations can change and save a life. if you need help, there are phone numbers for you. You can contact the LA County Department of Mental Health. I'll find those numbers because they're not on the normal page I look at now, which is always fun. Where are the phone numbers gone? They're there somewhere. Look them up. Definitely use them. I'm pretty sure one of them is 988. Just text that number if you need to. It's there. Use it. You are wanted. You are loved.
Well said. Especially this holiday season. Look out for each other. Without a doubt, look out for each other. Family, it's important. Friends are important. Keep the connections close. That's for sure. On that note, for the travelers, again, thank you for representing us on the road yet again in numbers, strong for a massive match for LAFC. So all love to all of you making the trip. Safe travels to everyone back and forth. That is for sure. Same with those heading to watch parties, Friendsgiving events, you name it. Be safe out there. Get a designated driver, right? If you need one, be safe. Get home safe. That's the most essential thing. For the community itself, again, be safe. I know the weather's a little bit rough right now. I'm about 8 miles away from snow right now. I know it's cold like that. So yeah, be safe out there. Be careful. Be mindful. Hopefully, again, we'll be seeing you guys next week with very happy news and previewing another match. That is our hope. That is our prayer. And I think that's the best way to close this bad boy out. So, Tony, final word.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Araceli.
Stay golden.
Bam.
Stay golden.
And for me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.